Holy packs. All right, well, I'm going to continue to go through this collection here, the $150 collection that I got off from Max Sold. I've been going through this bin lately, getting some of the individual player boxes and things of that nature, but now I'm going to go dive into this box here. It's going to be an assortment of cards, but it does look like it's broken out per player as well. I think I saw like a grouping of Steve Young, Michael Irving, Thurman Thomas, and then some baseball players and hockey players as well. So instead of going through each card row by row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, go through it, break it out into the player sections, and then kind of show you from there. And then if I happen to find some really cool cards from those player sections, right, we'll highlight it. But, you know, if it's just going to be pro set cards, you know, it's not going to be too many things to highlight there. All right, so let's pause it here and break into this box. All right, and we're back. I've gone through the box. It's quite a bit of stuff to go through, so let's jump into it. There was some basketball, but not a lot. Pretty much just this small grouping of cards. Nothing crazy, just some early 90s rookie cards. You got a lot of Eric Montross. You got a bunch of Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, and then a couple of Derek Coleman. So some of it was NBA hoops, some of it was Skybox, some of it was, but some of it was this classic 4Sport stuff. So a lot of classic 4Sport rookie stuff in here, which was unique in a way because some of the designs and some of the cards are pretty similar to what is used today, but it's just kind of funny how they didn't hold up. So they have some serial numbered cards, but you know, of some names, but it's like like the classic never held the hobby. It's just too much of it and everything else. But it was done in a way that is very similar to what you see today, which is kind of funny. But then there was a bunch of baseball. I have a bunch of Sports Flick stuff, right? So you got Kirby Puckett, Mark McGwire, Donnie Baseball, Jose Canseco. That's almost his rookie year. Clemens, and then a couple others. Then you just have some other like random rookies, things like that. Some mid-range guys, some good guys, some mid-range guys. Billy Wagner, Todd Helton, guys like those. But nothing that, you know, there were no commons, no true commons in terms of these guys all were, well, most of them anyway, were, or either, you know, they're rookie cards or they were good enough, you know, during the time that they played. Here's Harold Baines, rookie. Kurt Schilling, I think this is his first year card for Bowman. I don't think he had an 89 for Bowman. But a lot of these guys, like Larry Walker, right, Hall of Famer. Some random weird inserts. J.D. Drew had a rookie card of him somewhere. Todd Helton. Nomar Garcia-Parra, rookie. Right, Derek Lee, rookie. And then this random Bo Jackson card. So those kind of things. But mostly there were a lot of, between the football, baseball, and hockey, there were a lot of player sets. So let me jump into the baseball ones real quick. So first off, we got Jim Thome. So got about close to, I would say, 150 cards of Jim Thome. And it spans all different things, all different years. There's rookie cards in here. There's also, let's see, there was also this rookie card, right? And then there's also some gold cards in here. Some of the inserts, you got a Bowman card in here, right? And then you got some that just spanned his career as he went through some of the base cards. But you got the gold card for Score 95 and the base card. So nothing too crazy. I mean, there were some unique cards, like some cards that I've never seen before. But again, it just kind of shows you what the state of the hobby was back in the late 90s, mid to late 90s. All these different brands come out, all these different variations of, you know, Fleer, Score come out, and Pinnacle was coming out in this time as well. So that's why there's just such an influx of the cards, and kind of why I drove the value down, in my opinion, because you had such a variety of options to choose from. So, but pretty cool to get that many Jim Thome cards. So if there's any big Jim Thome fans out there, let me know. Had this Mo Vaughn rookie collection. Except for this card, obviously 94, but everything else was 91 and a rookie for him. So about 15 cards of that. We got Wade Boggs. Got about like 30 or 40 cards here of Wade Boggs. Nothing great. All of the mid to early 90s stuff. So right when he was transitioning away from Boston and over to the Yankees, is when this era was. But we did have the 87 Fleer. That was, I think, that's about as early as it goes. But it's mostly junk wax era stuff. But I'm breaking these out into the players because I have one other box I haven't gone through yet, and it has, I think, a lot of these same players. So I'm gonna try and group them all together once I get a chance to go through it. Had Ryan Sandberg. I thought this was a unique one. I'm gonna pull this aside for wax packs because I know he collects Ryan Sandberg, and I'm sure there's nothing on the back of it, so I don't know how this came in, like if it was in the box or what. But I'll just put it aside for him. There's probably a card of Ryan Sandberg he doesn't have. But then there was like like this one. I don't know. You know, what do you do with this, right? So then you get, I got another like 150 cards here, all of Tim Salmon. Maybe somebody was collecting him, right? Because they thought he was going to pan out. And he was a big name back in the early 90s, mid 90s. He was somebody who they projected to do pretty well. And I don't know how he did in his career. I never really checked his stats, but I'm sure he did okay. But I don't think he ever panned out the way they thought he was going to. And then just over time, you know, nobody really knows Tim Salmon now unless you knew of him when he was around in his playing days. So, but no major cards there. Again, gold card variations, rookie cards, everything else, you know, some unique cards, but nothing too crazy in that front. Then I got some George Brett and Paul Molitor, more in the same vein of before. Before I jump into the hockey, let me look at the football. I got a ton of Steve Young cards. Let's see here. Nothing prior to, I think, 1990, but so you can see a lot of base cards, a lot of just variation sets, you know, Edge, which probably only lasted a year. You got Score, you got Pacific, right? High Impact, I don't know what, oh, Skybox, all right? You got Topps, you had Topps Gold card, you know, Fleer, 1990 Fleer, so bunch of base cards. But I would venture to say there has to be 250 to 300 cards here of just Steve Young. And this is what I'm talking about. Like some of these cards here, like you start to see the refractor in it, right, from Classic, and even the Topps Stadium Club, which is done a lot today, which you didn't really see in cards all that much back then, which I thought was unique. And then you get like the silver from Collector's Choice, but then you also have like the Fleer metal. There was a bunch of these, but none of the precious metals, but you know, the Fleer metal base cards were in here, which was pretty cool. But again, I think it's like a pretty unique design as far as like, if you're gonna have these type of cards and collect Steve Young, it's kind of cool to have like all these different variations of it. But they just never held weight. Like a lot of them aren't even around anymore. These two I thought were actually pretty interesting. So this one, it's the Pinnacle Mint, and you have the coin, one with a coin inside of it, and then one with, I guess, the coins punched out. But what's funny is when I look at this, like there's no perforated edge. If you can look at it, right? There's no real perforated edge to poke it out. Right? And look at the back side of the card, right? It's not perforated. So I don't know how, like when I go over this is flat. I hear that it feels bumpy because you can see the imprint of the coin. But if you look at this card too, there's no marking of like of a punch out or a push out. It's just cut. Like there's no trim of the gold anywhere, right? The edge is smooth. Like normally when you have like these punch outs of these kind of cards, like you're gonna have some perforation from where they kind of held it in and then you have to punch it out. So I don't know if there's two variations of this card, right? One made with the coin and one made without, but just thought that was interesting. But moving on, of course. So sticking with football though, so also got close to 100 cards of Michael Irvin. right? No rookie cards, but a bunch of second-year cards, a couple of these all Madden team cards, and again, just a bunch of different types of brands. So some of these I'd never seen before. Some of them I have. Obviously, Pro Line, they've been around a lot. Upper Deck, of course, right? So you have your standard, but then you have like Playoff Prime, and then again, it's like not quite a refractor, but it's the type of card that it's made out to be. Certainly was maybe a little before its time. And you get the Players Club, the silver stamp on that. But look at this one, like the Pro Line Classic, right? Now this card doesn't really hold up as far as value goes, but the type of printing and image that they put on there, it's definitely unique for that time frame. Much better than what, you know, Topps was doing or anything else. So unique in that aspect. And this was interesting too. I saw a lot of Collector's Choice that a lot of them don't have the team name in silver like that, and then some of them do. So I guess that's kind of like their insert card, like they're almost like the Topps version of gold cards. So I saw a lot of that. So I think that was a variation. But you got some inserts here. See, here it is without the Cowboys. All right, so a lot of cool stuff. Goldfingers, metal Goldfingers card. I looked this card up. It's like about $1, $2, but I thought it was interesting. I wanted to put it aside. And then you got your metal, your precious metals, or not precious metals, but your Fleer metal card. So some definitely some interesting cards. So I think I'm going to try and sell those guys off as a set, right, as a grouping. You got Jerome Bettis, a lot of rookies from when he was with the Rams before he goes over to the Steelers. So a lot, and then a lot from the Classic, right? You can see just a ton of the Classic ones. So all different types of different cards here. So we got a whole bunch of Jerome Bettises. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then also got a bunch of Thurman Thomases over here. 2 stacks of Thurman Thomas. I won't go through those. I'll show you some of the ones I thought were at least interesting. Right, always I like the Bowman when you got the stamp on there, the gold stamp for the playoffs. And then you got his 1990, so that's his second year. Not quite his rookie. But then you had like multiple variations of the same card, right? A gold power one and then a silver power one from, what was this, Pro Set. So I think that was their 2 type of inserts though. You had a silver insert and a gold insert. You had kind of like a Bowman. I think this might be a refractor, I'm not sure. I have to check it out, but I think this might be a refractor from Bowman. One of their first ones. Same thing here, you got the metal. And then you have variations of the Pro Line, right? So if you can tell, like this is the base card, and then this one has sort of like this glossy silver background to it, right? Almost like a refractor. So again, being innovative for their time, it just unfortunately never stuck, right? Same thing here. So here you got the gold signature. And there you got the bills and no bills, right, for the Collector's Choice. And then this is what I'm talking about too when you look at that Steve Young card, right? You got cards like these where you can clearly punch them out, but you can see there's like perforated edges for where you can punch it out. And then when you punch it out, there's just going to be those little lips, you know, that was holding it together, the little tags. So you'd have to, I don't see that on the Steve Young card. But here you got a throwback to the Gaudy cards, right? Obviously a reprint, but still a fun little card to have. And then the Terminator, thought that was pretty funny. And then you got your gold card and base card for Topps. And then again, another Stars of the Zone. Who is it? Skybox. So again, another insert card from the 90s. Pretty nice. Pretty fun to see. There was just so many. Some other stacks for football. You had Kerry Collins for some reason. You had Herschel Walker. You got about 20 cards from him, but just nothing major. All before he goes to the Eagles, he goes from the Cowboys to the Eagles. So nothing too crazy. Minnesota Vikings. And then Terrell Davis, I had a stack of him. That one was it's about 20 to 30 cards, but he had some interesting ones too. Some of these die cut cards, right? Hard to keep that one. This one's got a lot of chipping there on the edge, but still unique in the terms of like these guys doing this in the mid 90s, right before it really became popular today. But again, it never held, which is unfortunate. So, and then over here, we got some more football ones. The stack of J.J. Stokes, Michael Westbrook for some reason. Here we had some unique cards. You had Marvin Harrison rookie, but again in the pro line, you got a couple of Terrell Owens rookies. You got Jason Garrett rookies from the World League inaugural set, which I thought was funny. Here's some Jason Kendall rookies, a Steve Nash rookie, Michael Strahan rookie, but from Classic, a random print run of Magic Johnson, and then you have the insert. So there's a bunch of these, the inaugural season cards for the Jaguars. Not you. I don't know why they had the Dallas Cowboys there, but Jacksonville Jaguars and the Carolina Panthers. So that's always fun to pull aside. Keyshawn Johnson rookie, more Marvin Harrison rookies, a Ray Lewis rookie, a couple of nice Junior Seaus. One is, I think it's almost his rookie. No, maybe it's a second year. But this is just a nice little insert card from Top Stadium Club. And then this too, like you get the classic pro line, you get this sort of MVP redemption card for Bam Morrison, right? But it's 1 out of 4,000, so it's one of those first serial numbered cards. Again, something that was done with Classic, they're kind of ahead of their time, but it just never stuck, right? It never stuck with the hobby. I don't think people really put much value into those cards. And then this is the same one too. This is from Donruss, so Steve Atwater. It's a die cut card, but it's serial numbered out of 10,000. So, right, again, a little bit ahead of their time as far as doing that, getting those serial numbered cards out there and everything else. Who else do we have? We have over in this corner. Let me slide this over here for you real quick before we jump into the hockey. So we got a small stack of Andre Rison, bunch of rookie cards. Tim Brown, no rookie cards, I don't think, bunch of second, third year cards for him. Trent Dilfer for some reason. Another stack of random rookie cards from the 90s. A small stack of Ty Law. But, here you see Curtis Martin, Terry Glenn, right? Same picture being used on both of those. Dave Meggett, a couple of Derek Thomas ones. Little inserts there for him. Tiki Barber, Jim Kelly. So, some notable names, of course. Isaac Bruce, right? But it wasn't all bad. But it wasn't all good either. But again, nice little insert cards here. But a lot of them are like the classics and things like that. So another Bam Morrison classic card. Right, and even Pacific Crown, they're doing sort of the refractor thing. All right, so I think that was it for baseball and football. So let's jump into the hockey real quick. Now, there's definitely some names in there that I recognize. Right, I had a small stack of Ray Bourque cards. Right, nothing too crazy, but he had like a lot of these hologram cards from Upper Deck showing him winning the the Best Defenseman trophy. Right, so got a gold card from him. So a bunch of guys like that. Same thing with Ed Belfour, right? Obviously, great goalie, but a lot of hologram cards for him winning the Vezina Trophy and the Rookie of the Year award, right? So, a bunch of his stuff. This one I thought for a second was, it's his rookie card, but it's actually the 5th year anniversary of it. So it's not the rookie card for his Upper Deck. I did get a stack of vintage cards and from the 70s, but early 80s, so maybe not quite true vintage right from that, but got a lot of early 80s, mid 80s, and late 70s cards. Steve Shutt from the Canadiens, it's pretty good. Dennis Savard. You get the scoring leaders. You got Tony Esposito here. You got his 1980 card. And then 81, 82 card. Let's see. You got a Paul. These are sticker cards from the All-Star cards are the 86 sticker cards. And then Paul Coffey. Another sticker card. Guy Lafleur. And a couple other guys from the Canadiens who I don't really know. Another Ken Dryden card here. So some good vintage. Just randomly thrown in the box. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm not going to list those. And then we have these like weird hologram cards from 1990 Upper Deck. but there's no picture of him. Like there's a picture in there, but it's really hard to see. Like you can't even see, like you could barely tell there's a person on there. And I guess it's Wayne Gretzky and a couple others. I looked it up, but it's really hard to even see the person on there. These were more expansion cards and the Ode to the Zamboni. Let's see, Premier Gold, but more expansion cards, more Zamboni cards. So just kind of weird cards I put aside. This was a redemption card for Alexander, was the name Deigel, but I don't know if it ever got, I don't think it ever got redeemed, and I think it's all right. But here's the Mighty Ducks opening night, right? So we got some nice inaugural cards there. And then another interesting one was, I got these, you got the first woman of hockey, right? So you got a bunch of cards dedicated to her. So obviously a goalie coming up through the farm system. I don't know if she ever played in the NHL, but she certainly almost made it if she didn't get there. Cami Granado, I saw her because she's at Providence, so she's at college is close to us, but I actually just saw that she's now, I think she's a marketing VP, or she's with the Canucks now, I think, Vancouver Canucks. She's something up there in the front office now. It just happened a couple weeks ago. So she's now up there in the front office. I don't know exactly what she's doing, maybe assistant general manager. I really don't know. But it's some high-level position, some executive position. But you got more of the first woman of hockey. And then you have the I think it's 1994 Olympic team. So this is the first year that, was it 94 or 96? I can't remember. 94. So this is the first year that they actually allowed women's hockey into the Olympic events. So it wasn't just men's hockey. So you have the women's team and the Canadian team. So that's pretty cool. Then the last couple things I'll show you here. One, I got probably close to over 100 cards here of Joe, what's his name? Sakic? Joe Sakic. I don't really know him all that well. I think he was a good player because there's a lot of cards of him and he made a lot of all-star teams, but I'm not so sure. And then there's this one of Pavel Bure. But again, like almost, well, you got almost 200 cards, I would say, 150 to 200 cards of him. A lot of rookie cards for him, and everything else. So but a lot of it's in score or tops, and then some other random offshoot cards. But right, some of it Premier. I don't know if that's O-Pee-Chee Premier, but a lot of him, a lot of rookie cards, a lot of young cards for him. And then another big stack of Sergei Fedorov, right? Again, probably close to 200 cards, of all Sergei Fedorov, right? So you got him when he's, I don't think that's the 5th year, right? Nope, so this is actually his like rookie season here, right? From 1990, 91, or 90, 91, 92 Upper Deck, right? You get a whole bunch of rookies from 91. So just a ton of rookies of Sergei Fedorov. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, especially when you're looking at a big player, a major player from that era, to get like 200 cards of him. So I'll put this off in a player lot. And this is also the 5th year anniversary one. So this is not the original 1990, 91 one. But still a lot of rookie cards in there nonetheless. And some cool cards, some insert cards from the mid-90s. So that's essentially what it was. I mean, there's other players in there too that I didn't go through. The video is kind of long already. But I haven't, like I said, I have another box just like this to go through in there. So I'm going to go through that next, and I'll probably get a lot of duplicates. So I just want to see if make sure I'm not double dipping on or adding more to these players before I put any of their lots online. Like Mark Messier, for example. We already had the box of him, but there were these cards in there, so I'm going to add to his box. But they had some nice throwbacks, some anniversary cards of him from the 1980 set. But this was obviously from, what year is that? 1992, O-Pee-Chee. So O-Pee-Chee did an ode to him. So, all right, well, that's that box. So long video, thanks for staying with me, but I got another box just like this to go through, so we'll do that in the next video and see what we find. Thanks, see ya.